when even young children consider death. How much longer can you tolerate bullying? Jackson Bezzant, who is now 7 years old, has been the victim of bullying his entire life. He couldn't even eat lunch at school because older children would constantly call him a monster or freak. The bullying had to cease long before one of the teachers informed Jackson's mother about it, which is fortunate. As soon as Jackson's father, Dan, found out what had happened, he began to cry. Treacher-Collins syndrome, a rare condition that impaired Jackson's facial bone growth and left him nearly entirely deaf, was present at birth in his adored son. Jackson's father, Dan, was subjected to degrading remarks about his son's appearance from individuals of all ages. A woman once exclaimed, "Did you see that little boy's face?" As she passed by, Dan recalled. Dan decided to take action after finding out what had happened to Jackson at school. However, he had not expected such reaction to his Facebook post. Learn why Dan's statements affected millions of people by reading on. The person you see here is Jackson Bezzant, who will turn 8 in a short while. Jackson was born with Treacher-Collins syndrome, a disorder that prevents the formation of the facial bones. He now wears a hearing aid because the incident also affected his hearing and vision. You may assume that the little child has had a lot of experiences in his brief life. Jackson's father, Dan, just overheard something that made him cry. One morning at school, Jackson was being harassed by a couple of older classmates in the cafeteria. They gave him other nicknames as well, such monster. Dan decided that enough was enough. Then shared a fascinating story on Facebook about the incident. This sweet young child, my son Jackson, is subjected to a never-ending barrage of abusive language and idiocy. Right now, my heart is in shatters. My heart feels like it is being torn out from under me. His peers frequently call him a monster, a freak, and ugly. Even though he's only 8 years old, he mentions suicide. He asserts that he has no friends and is despised by everyone. Please take a moment to visualize your child being subjected to these vile remarks while being pushed and rocked by other children. Give your children a brief explanation about persons with impairments. Discuss with them the importance of caring for one another. His condition is known as Treacher-Collins. Research it even. He's undergone a number of gory surgery and will have more in the future. I could go on, but I'll ask you to educate your kids instead. Please spread this around. This shouldn't be happening to anyone. Dan had no idea his Facebook post would become popular, but it did. Since then, Jackson's schoolmates have changed how they treat him. They want to be his friends and defend him from bullying. Dan claims he does not want to put the blame on the teachers at Jackson's school. He contends that it is the responsibility of parents to bring up and instill in their kids an appreciation of others, including those who are different from them. I want parents to read my article and feel my heart break, Dan continued. It could be any child anywhere. Please inform your children that bullying is unacceptable. Dan reported that he and Jackson were able to learn more about the condition by getting in touch with 2 other local families who also had kids with Treacher-Collins syndrome. They will now have frequent meetings. We're overjoyed that Jackson is now surrounded by so many people. More than abuse and harassment is what he deserves.